Okay, so let's talk about how to actually practically get the time and space to do the poetry. Where are you going to write it? How are you going to get the time? What do you do? I've done a few courses on establishing habits and morning routines and daily rituals and all this sort of stuff. So I strongly encourage you to check out those courses on Skillshare that I've got on those things, because if you establish a routine with writing, me personally, I find that if I get up and do the same thing, it helps me to know that, like doing my exercise in the morning, doing my meditation, then I sit down to write, that's it sort of primes me for success. You will have different things you want to do, but I can't suggest strongly enough developing a morning routine, because you go, I wake up, I do this, I do this, I do this. Now your morning routine will be different to mine. You might want to eat first, you might want a coffee, you might want to not eat. I don't know, it's up to you. But work out what works best for you and start trying to incorporate that into your day. Because the more you do this, the more you write, the more you'll start writing. It's like you're flexing a muscle. It's like you're working out the writing part of your brain. Establish it into your routine. In terms of a practical sense, I like to, in terms of actually how to practically write the poem, there's a few different options. The notes function on your phone is great, but with a caveat. It's great because it's just there, it's always on you, and you can scroll down and you can sort of format it and then you can play with it. That's what I typically use, and then I email it to myself, look at it on the laptop, and tweak. I don't like handwritten notes because my handwriting is atrocious, but that being said, sometimes I will take a pen and notepad and do it and then rewrite it up on the laptop. Now, the reason why I had the asterisk with the phone is that your phone is very distractive. If you're trying to write poetry and you click Facebook or a notification pops up or whatever else, you're no longer writing, you're now doing this other thing. That's not conducive to creativity. That's not conducive to connecting to that flow state. So you sort of have to have the discipline to not do anything else other than that. So if that's you, maybe switch your phone to airplane mode, maybe pen and notepad. It's up to you, straight onto your laptop. But once again, the internet's there. It's about finding what works for you. If you think you'll be struggled by distractions, notepad and pen. Okay? I also like to write, sometimes I'll take the notepad and pen or a voice recorder or my phone, and I'll go for a walk and I'll just let my brain flow, let my brain sit, and then I'll just sort of squat wherever I am and start writing. That can work too. Some people also find that having a designated space, a room, a little sort of shelf, a hovel, a desk, whatever, that's their writing space to be good. They might have a particular ritual that they do before they write, put a particular incense in the room or a particular shirt, or, say an affirmation to themselves. You might find that doing that, like a sort of a ritual lead into writing, works for you. Other people might just pop in and they're just going to start writing now because that's when it's came. Experiment, try different things. I would also suggest that you have the conversation with the family members or the people living with you and being like, hey, when I'm in this place, when I'm doing this thing, when I'm in my writing hovel, some sort of sign, when I'm doing this, please don't disturb me. And then you justify that by saying, if you disturb, like this is an act of healing, growth, therapy, expression. After this half an hour, whatever, I'm going to come out a better person. I'm going to come out calmer, nicer, more relaxed, yada, yada, yada. So it's actually in other people's best interests to give you this space. Put a sign on your door, do not disturb. Treat it like therapy. Treat it like work. Treat it like it's important, because it is. There's a reason you've watched this whole video. It would suck to have get into this zone just to have someone come in and interrupt you. As a side note, from a creativity perspective, there's some argument that suggests it takes a good half an hour to 45 minutes to get into a zone. This is for people writing novels, for example. So if you were writing a novel, for example, and you were an hour in and someone comes in and interrupts you for 5 minutes, just super quick, they've now set you back that half an hour to 45 minutes, right? I find with poetry, if I'm in the middle of if it's sort of flowing and then something happens, that poem's gone. And I'm like, I feel myself wanting to sort of dredge it back up. And occasionally I can, but most of the time it's gone, and it makes me upset, because that's like a form of expression that's sort of lost to the void, like without getting too sort of metaphysical on you. It's like, that's now gone. I can no longer, like that form of expression is just done. Now it might cycle back around, but it's never going to come out the way it was going to come out. So put the sign on the door, tell the people what you're doing, go for the walk, practically work out so you can not distract yourself with internet and that sort of stuff.